Here we are, August the 19th. I know I usually do it at the end of the month, or close to the end of the month, but things are beginning to look a bit autumny, so I just thought I'd do it just a little bit earlier this time. And our flowery bits are looking good. I gave them a little feed with comfrey, which cheered them all up. Anyway, let's move on. Let's go to the cool frame. Now remember, I put in some melons, and I'm quite pleased how things are going. Here we go, look at this, they're growing. So I've got 2 on each plant, and I've taken all the other runners off, so that's looking okay. Come on round to the greenhouse. My flowers outside are looking nice, cheers the place up, done having a bit of colour. So let's go in and have a look at the greenhouse, see what we got going in there. Things are looking really good in here. Remember those Dutchy peppers? Look at the size of them, and it's just beginning to ripen off. I'm well pleased with this. The tomatoes on the left hand side there are coming on nicely. That's the save seed from tomatoes that I got years ago, and I keep saving them because they grow huge great tomatoes. The aubergines are looking good. There we go, there's a nice one there, look. There we are, look at that. And then coming on round, the melons are looking good, but the leaves are starting to look a little bit crispy. Whether that's irregular watering or what, I don't know. Maybe somebody can give me some advice, but I've got 4 nice melons in here too, look. And then the peppers, they're absolutely huge, and they're coming on really good. They're coming on really good, look at that. And as I say, this is a mixture of seed. I mean, look at that, it's almost, well, it's 4 fingers, longer than 4 fingers long. And those are the seed that from Tesco's, from a Tesco's pepper that I saved. Now, you remember that Cape Gooseberry that was taken over? Unfortunately, guys and gals, I had to take it out. It was just too much work. It was growing so fast, and I've got one on the outside growing, and I'm getting Cape Gooseberries. I picked a bucket full of Cape Gooseberries off them, but a lot of them weren't ripe, and they don't seem to ripen. So I'm going outside, look, and there's the one that's growing outside, and as you can see, it's loaded with Cape Gooseberries, and they're giving me ripe ones, so that's what I'm going to go for. Right, let's move on. So on the outside then, I had that bed here that did have lettuce in, and I've got 2 tomato plants that decided to grow on their own, so I've left them in, and I'm going to carry on growing a few lettuce there. I've sown a couple, I think they're Tom Thumbs, but I've sown a couple of bits and pieces there. Then I've got that row of that raised bed of carrots, and they're coming on good. Oh, those beans, those were the Dutchy I was so pleased with. A tremendous rainstorm just butchered them. Look, it knocked all the leaves off, but they do look, if so, they're coming back. And I did put some in earlier. I sowed a few seeds down around the stakes, end of July, and they're coming up, so maybe we'll be okay. Maybe we'll get some beans. Then this bed that used to be the onions, I've now filled that with compost from one of the compost heaps, and that's in preparation for me beans, broad beans and peas that I'm going to overwinter. And then the beds, that was my pea bed. I've got 2 cauliflowers in there, and I intend to put a couple more collies in there. Then there's some carrots which I sowed near the end of July, actually, a bit late really. And then I've got some celery there. The broad beans, remember I cut them off, and I thought I'd leave them and see if I'd get some broad beans. I think I got 2, so it's actually not a viable thing to do, but there we go, learnt a lesson there, didn't we? And then I've got a mixed salad bed there with spinach, mixed salad leaves, lang cress and rocket. And then of course my deeper carrot bed. You know, they're just looking good. There might even be some there I can pull. I'm going to have a look later. Oh, and another south-setted tomato over the back there, which I've staked. If it comes on, it comes on. Alright, so let's move along to... Oh no, we've got the strawberries next, and then we'll have a look at them grapes. The black currants and raspberries, I need to get in there. I'm going to have a bit of a saute, cut all the raspberry canes away from the black currant and red currant bushes. I lifted the net so the birds could get and polish off the remaining black currants and red currants, and they did that exactly. Strawberries, I've cut all the runners off, and I've dressed between them. I got some wood chippings from a pine tree that had been chopped down. So there's pine needles and all in there. I've put them in between the strawberries because someone tells me it makes the strawberries taste better. Well, see what happens, eh? I was going to move this bed this year, but I've got too much to do, so I probably won't. So I've dressed the strawberries with compost. So hopefully they'll do another year yet. They might not be so good. Well, the one row might not be so good because they're already 3 years old. But one of these roses, or two of these roses, only a year old, and the other, I think there's a couple there. They're different years anyway. Right, the grapes, wow, it's looking good. The grapes are looking good. I've got 12 bunches of grapes on each, and they are looking superb. I'm well pleased with them. I've sprayed them, as you can see by the little bits of blue, I've sprayed them with Bordeaux in the hope that I can arrest any rot. And I'm going to take a chance on these, and I'm going to leave them until the second week of September before I pick them. Well, let's hope. But look at that for a lovely bunch of grapes. So, let's move on then. Then we've got the strawberries which I had in the tub. Worked well, but the woodlice didn't get them. But the strawberries came so quick this year that the woodlice couldn't eat them all anyway. So we did quite well, but they did only last a fortnight. Asparagus, I've top dressed the asparagus with some compost from the compost heap, and then I'll put on the top of that, I'll put a bit of seaweed. I don't know why I've got the seaweed, so I might as well put it on it. So there we go. And then we come along to the strawberries in the path. I haven't done anything with those, just cut the runners off. Then I've put in a couple of late sprouts, purely because the slugs ate my other sprouts. I've got one plant there that managed to survive. It put on a bit of leaf after last month when I complained the slugs have eaten it. And then I've got another plant over the back there that's looking good. It's been so warm, that plant I think it's come on too much. In other words, the sprigs looking like they're nearly ready to pick. Then I've got my leaf beet, and that's all looking superb. And come along a bit further to the beans. These are the French beans, dwarf French beans. Remember last month I sowed another row in the hope of a mild autumn, and they're coming up. Look, parsnips are doing good. I just keep sowing parsnips. I'm going to end up with tiny ones, with the ones that are only just coming up, but I've got some giant ones over the back there. They'll be too big. The leeks, I've uncovered the leeks now. The weathers seem to have cooled down a bit, and they're looking okay. As yet, no rust. I had one that went to seed, and I took the seed top out of that. And moving along to me knobbly potatoes that someone gave me. They're looking okay. And then we got a bee there working on my sunflower. Look. Then along to the courgettes. They begin to show white on the leaves. I think that's a kind of a mildew. In fact, they're beginning to look very autumnly, and they're not producing courgettes every day now like they were just a few days ago, really. Sweet corn, they've been superb. I know they're only little corn plants, but the actual cobs are perfect, and I gave them a little water of me comfrey. Right, there's me sweet corn up a bit closer, and as you can see, they're just looking good. It is strange that they're such small plants, but as I say, the corns are big. And then the marrows, they're beginning to just show signs of that mildew, but The marrows on them are superb. There we go, there's a really nice one growing through there, look, and another one by the side. And I must have 6 or 7 at home that I've picked that I haven't given away yet. And then the Three Sisters, which is sweet corn from just ordinary saved seed actually, from last year's corn that I dried out, and the beans are growing random. It seems to work. There's a forest of beans in there, and there's loads of beans to pick. I've been picking the beans, but it seems to have done the pumpkins a world of good. I've got pumpkins growing all over the place. Let's go around there. There's a really nice yellow one there, look. And then, getting you too dizzy, there's another huge one there. So there we go, from a different angle. That is a nice sized pumpkin. So squash, yeah, I've got some growing. I've got some strange things. I can't help thinking that they must be some sort of cross between a squash and a pumpkin, look. But the squash are growing nicely. There's some in there somewhere, and the sweet corn, once again, they were saved seed from a corn, and they're sheltering the squash. And there we go, we got one in there somewhere. Come on, stop hiding. There we go, then that's a proper squash. And there's several of those, so it's working a treat. This shading business, Three Sisters, well, this is only 2 sisters, because I've only got corn here, but they're ready to pick some of them corns. So saving the seed. Alright, so some don't have cobs on, or something happens, but you get corn. So good job. And then I've got these few tomatoes, swivel around without making you too dizzy. A few tomatoes that I've had growing with fleece around, just to give it some protection. Tomatoes are absolutely gorgeous. Look, they're just looking smashing. That's money maker. And then I've got a couple of Elsa Craig, and they've got a nice big daddy spider there too, look. Nice big daddy spider there. I don't mind, he catches all the whitefly. So moving along, that was me row of beetroot that I put in after I dug the potatoes. A bit tongue-in-cheek, I think they're going to be a bit late. Well, who knows, you might get some smally beetroot off it. There's another pumpkin growing over the back there. Potatoes, I've started digging those. The earlies I dug them last month, as I said on me last month. Then I've got my next lot to dig, and then there's a final lot there that's ready for digging. And then I've just got a few here that was a different variety that somebody gave me to try. I can't remember what they were. Next year I must remember more labels. The apple tree over the back there is doing good. Got some lovely apples on it. And the grape along the back here, the grapes are just beginning to ripen. These are red grape, of course. They're just beginning to ripen, but looking good. There are some superb bunches on there, and once again I've restricted it to 12 bunches. And then of course there's me pond. I've dug the pond out. I took everything out, all the lilies, everything that's growing, and put one small lily back in a pot. So I'm redoing the pond entirely. The froggies are still there somewhere. Oh, and then right over the back I've got that cherry tomato. Let's go up there without wobbling you about too much. I've got that cherry tomato. It's loaded with little tomatoes. They're ever so sweet. And then a couple of peppers, outside peppers. Look at that. They're superb. So there we go. I think we can probably show you the whole plot without the sun being, it's morning sun. There you go. I'll see you in September.